All right, so we're diving into Google's NotebookLM today.
Sounds good.
You've sent over a ton of info on this.
Yeah.
Articles, transcripts, even some podcast episodes.
Mhm.
It seems like you've been digging deep into this one.
I have been. Yeah, it's been really interesting to learn about.
So from what I'm seeing, this is not just like a glorified note-taking app.
Oh, definitely not. No, this is next level.
Yeah.
People are using it for all sorts of things, from like, really like getting into research papers and summarizing them.
Wow.
Even stuff like whipping up marketing copy. Like,
Yeah.
it's really interesting to see the applications that are coming out.
So beyond the standard note-taking, what's got you interested? You're the expert here.
Good.
What's got you intrigued about what NotebookLM can do that other tools can't?
Well, you hit the nail on the head when you said that there's a lot more to it than just note-taking.
Okay.
The standout feature for me is the way it analyzes and synthesizes information. So you can imagine having a stack of research papers, which, let's be honest, can be pretty dense and hard to get through. And NotebookLM can actually pull out the key insights from those papers. And it can even go a step further and suggest connections between those papers that you might not have seen yourself.
So for someone who is, up to their ears in research, it's like having a research assistant.
Exactly.
Like a super powered one that is sifting through all this information overload for you.
That could be a huge time saver for sure.
Yeah, especially for people who are short on time.
Exactly.
I can see that being really valuable.
Yeah. And then on top of that, there's this feature that everyone's calling the podcast feature. And it's really generating a lot of buzz online.
Okay.
And that is the fact that it can create a surprisingly realistic audio conversation from your notes and your source material.
Okay, wait, hold on. So you're telling me I can have AI generate a podcast episode from my own research notes?
Essentially, yes.
Okay, how does that work in practice? Like, paint me a picture.
So let's say you're researching, the latest developments in renewable energy. So you've got an article on that. You'd upload that article to NotebookLM, and then it can actually create this simulated conversation between two hosts who discuss the key takeaways, the implications of this new development, maybe even differing viewpoints that are presented in the article itself. So you're essentially getting this curated audio digest of all this material.
So I could be getting my daily dose of industry news while I'm, walking the dog or like waiting for a meeting to start. That's a really compelling use case.
Especially for auditory learners out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Who really like to listen to information.
I'm one of those.
Yeah.
So that would be huge for me.
And it's not just articles.
Oh.
Some people are uploading like transcripts from YouTube videos.
Wow.
Even podcasts.
Okay.
And then using NotebookLM to create these audio summaries of that content. So it's a really good way to revisit key points from something you watched or listened to, or to engage with that content in a totally different format.
Oh, that's really clever.
Yeah.
So we've got efficient research analysis. We've got AI-generated podcasts on demand.
Yeah.
Anything else in NotebookLM's bag of tricks that we should know about?
Yeah, there's been a lot of talk about the potential for using NotebookLM to actually generate income.
Oh, really?
Yeah, one user was saying how they were using it to analyze competitor websites to find like SEO gaps and stuff so they can create even better content for their own site.
That's smart.
Yeah, drive traffic and ultimately boost their income.
So it's like having an AI marketing consultant in your back pocket.
Essentially, yeah.
Whispering all these insider secrets in your ear, like, do this and you'll beat the competition.
Yeah.
That's really something.
It's pretty powerful.
What other examples have you seen of people monetizing this?
Another source I saw was saying they were taking their existing blog content and using NotebookLM to repurpose it into like lead magnets.
That's a good idea.
Or social media posts and stuff. So reaching a wider audience and ultimately like generating more leads for their business.
So you're not just consuming information, you're finding ways to repackage it and leverage it strategically.
Yeah.
I like it. There are definitely some business applications here.
Definitely.
What about for folks who work with a lot of pre-made content?
Like, what do you mean?
Like people who utilize PLR, private label rights material? Is there anything in there for them?
Oh, that's where it gets really interesting. So imagine taking like a generic article and instantly being able to generate an FAQ section for it, a table of contents, even a companion podcast tailored to that specific piece of content.
So you're taking like a blank canvas or maybe a pre-sketched outline, and suddenly you've got this full-fledged masterpiece in front of you.
Pretty much.
That's incredible. That's got to be a game changer for people who don't have the time or the resources to create all that from scratch.
Exactly.
But with all this AI magic happening,
Yeah.
are there any downsides or limitations highlighted in the sources? Surely it can't be all sunshine and rainbows.
There were a couple things, yeah.
Okay, what were they?
One user found it really tough to get NotebookLM to actually display images
Okay.
that were attached to figures in like research papers,
Yeah,
which I can imagine would be a hurdle for visual learners.
absolutely. I mean, an image is worth 1,000 words, as they say,
Exactly.
especially when you're dealing with really complex concepts.
Yeah, for sure.
So it sounds like visual integration is still a bit of a work in progress.
It seems that way.
Yeah. Any other potential drawbacks they mentioned?
Yeah, one thing that came up a lot was the need to double check all AI-generated content
That makes sense.
for accuracy and context.
Right.
Like, as impressive as NotebookLM is,
Yeah.
it's still drawing from the data it was trained on,
Right.
which isn't always perfect.
And sometimes it can even be flat out wrong.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
So a healthy dose of skepticism is still a good idea.
Critical thinking is key,
Yes.
even in the age of AI.
Absolutely. It's a partnership, not a replacement.
Right. It's a tool to use strategically and not just to blindly accept everything it spits out.
Right.
Well said. Now I'm always interested to hear about the unexpected ways that people are using new tools.
Yeah.
Were there any, like, surprising or even offbeat applications of NotebookLM that stood out in these sources?
Well, one that I thought was really interesting was there was a financial analyst who was using NotebookLM
Yeah, okay.
to analyze like earnings reports and market trends.
Wow.
And instead of spending hours going through all this data himself,
Yeah.
he was having NotebookLM generate these concise summaries
Okay.
that would highlight potential investment opportunities.
So it's like having an AI stockbroker
Essentially, yes.
crunching the numbers and whispering hot tips in your ear.
Pretty much, yeah.
That's wild. That could be a game changer for investors.
Totally. Or really anyone who's trying to make sense of complex financial data.
Right.
Which is a lot of us.
That is a lot of us. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Any other unconventional uses?
Yeah, there was one that I thought was pretty cool.
Okay.
A fiction writer was saying they were using it to organize their world-building notes.
Oh, that's smart.
So they had all these pages of information
Yeah.
about characters and settings and plot points and all this stuff.
Easy to get lost in the weeds there.
Oh, totally.
I've dabbled in a bit of creative writing myself.
Yeah,
It's a lot.
it's a lot to keep track of.
Yeah, so having an AI assistant to wrangle all those details would be pretty awesome.
Yeah, it can be a lifesaver for sure.
Were there any examples of folks using this for personal projects or like self-improvement even?
Yeah, one source mentioned that they were integrating NotebookLM into their like daily journaling practice.
Oh, interesting.
They found that like speaking their thoughts out loud and having NotebookLM transcribe it
Okay.
and then analyze their journal entries, help them process their emotions and just like gain self-awareness.
So it's like having an AI therapist helping you unpack your subconscious.
Kind of, yeah.
That's fascinating. I love that. It speaks to the potential of these tools, not just for productivity,
Yeah.
but for like personal growth and reflection.
For sure. And for those of us who love to cook,
Okay.
somebody out there created a recipe remixer
What?
using NotebookLM.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So they upload their favorite recipes
Okay.
and then let the tool suggest ingredient substitutions,
Okay.
flavor pairings,
Ooh.
even entirely new dishes based on their preferences.
Okay. That's just cool.
Right.
As someone who often gets stuck in a recipe rut,
Yeah.
I could definitely use that.
For sure.
Now, with all this excitement about what NotebookLM can do,
Yeah.
are there conversations happening about the responsible AI usage side of things?
Absolutely. The sources really emphasize that as powerful as NotebookLM is,
Yeah,
it's crucial to use it ethically and responsibly.
for sure.
For instance, one source cautioned against like relying solely on NotebookLM
Okay.
for factual information.
Right. Especially in fields like, medicine or law, where things need to be very precise.
Yes, because it's tempting to view AI as infallible,
Right.
but they're still in development.
It's important to remember that.
Yeah, and while NotebookLM can be great for summarizing information,
Mm-hmm.
it's important to remember that it's just a tool.
Right.
Critical thinking and careful fact-checking are still essential.
Yeah. You can't just check out and let the AI do all the work.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about striking that balance
Yeah.
between like harnessing the potential and being mindful of the limitations.
Absolutely.
We don't want to get so caught up in the what ifs
Right.
that we forget to proceed with caution.
Well said.
Yeah.
Now, while we're on the topic of responsible AI,
Mm-hmm.
did the sources mention anything about plagiarism?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Especially with a tool as sophisticated as this.
That's certainly a valid concern.
Yeah.
Because NotebookLM can generate really human quality text.
Right.
It's crucial to use it ethically
For sure.
and avoid just like copying and pasting content without attribution.
Right. It's just like anything else in the digital age.
Exactly.
Just because you can copy and paste doesn't mean you should.
Exactly.
We have a responsibility to use these tools with integrity
Absolutely.
and to respect intellectual property rights.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, good. I'm glad we're on the same page there.
Yeah.
Now, with all these capabilities and potential applications, where do the experts see NotebookLM heading in the future?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
A lot of people are thinking about this.
Yeah.
Some are saying it could be even more tightly integrated into the Google Workspace suite.
Okay, so connecting with things like Google Docs and Calendar and Gmail
Exactly.
seamlessly.
Wow, that level of AI integration would certainly streamline things
Oh, yeah.
and open up some possibilities.
For sure. What if it could, like, schedule meetings based on your notes?
Exactly.
Or even draft emails for you?
That's what I'm wondering. Like, is it going to get to the point where it becomes more of a true AI assistant?
That can learn your work habits and start anticipating your needs.
Some people even think that it could proactively offer suggestions or insights.
So it's like it's buzzing in the background while you're working on something. And it's like, hey, I think you might need this.
It's analyzing all your research, and it's scheduling relevant meetings for you.
Wow.
It's like having a personalized research team.
At your fingertips.
Exactly.
That is both exhilarating and a little terrifying.
It's a lot.
Yeah.
And as with any big technological advancement like this,
For sure.
there are some important considerations.
Absolutely. We can't just get swept up in the what ifs without thinking about the implications.
Exactly.
So what sorts of considerations are we talking about here?
Data privacy is a big one.
Right.
You know, as NotebookLM becomes more powerful, more personalized, it's going to need access to more of our personal information.
Yeah.
That's where it gets a little dicey.
It's like making a deal with a super smart genie, right?
Yeah.
You're getting all this incredible convenience and power, but at what cost? Mm-hmm.
And that actually brings us back to that provocative thought that we had in our outline. What if NotebookLM could learn not just from our documents,
Yeah.
but from our browsing history,
Wow.
our social media, even our conversations?
That's a little Big Brother-ish.
It is both exhilarating and a little unnerving at the same time.
Totally.
I don't know about you, but I'm not sure I'm ready to let an AI read my diary.
It kind of blurs the line between helpful tool and something a lot more omnipresent,
Yes.
right? I mean, on the one hand, imagine a NotebookLM that knows your interests so well
Okay.
that it can anticipate your research needs before you even start looking.
That would be amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
But that requires a high level of trust.
It does. It's that classic dilemma. Would you trade some privacy for ultimate convenience?
It's the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
And, it's not just about our individual choices either.
It's true.
We need to be thinking about these issues on a societal level.
Right. How do we make sure these technologies are developed responsibly?
How do we prevent bias from creeping into algorithms and then influencing the information we see?
These are important questions.
They are. These are conversations we need to have as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Absolutely.
So we've covered the capabilities, we've talked about the potential pitfalls, the mind-boggling future possibilities. What does this all mean for our listener? The one who's been digging deep into NotebookLM.
Yeah.
What should they be thinking about as they explore this tool?
I'd say go in with a sense of curiosity
Okay,
and a healthy dose of critical thinking.
I like it.
Experiment with it, see how it can streamline your workflows, maybe even enhance your learning. But be mindful of the data you're sharing
Right.
and the potential implications.
Good advice.
Stay informed about the ethical considerations. Advocate for responsible AI development.
Yes. Be curious, be cautious, and maybe even be a little bit demanding.
I like that.
Because we have the power to shape how this technology evolves. And it starts with being informed and engaged users.
Couldn't agree more. The future of AI is a collaborative story,
It really is.
and we all have a role to play in writing it.
Well said. And on that note, we've reached the end of our deep dive into NotebookLM.
This was fun.
I agree, it was a good one. We've explored its capabilities, we pondered its implications, and hopefully you, the listener, are walking away with some new insights.
I hope so.
Some things to think about as you navigate this exciting and rapidly evolving world of AI. Until next time, stay curious.